Hey, what's up guys, my name is Sess and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you a different series I like to call Hot or Not. This series are going to show you games that I recently started playing or have been playing for a while, but I'm unsure if I should post videos about it. So in these videos I'm going to show you the game, tell you a little bit about it, show you some gameplay and just give a kind of a small review and ask you guys if you want to see more or not. If the answer is not, I will still play it, but I just won't upload it because that is just kind of a waste of time if you guys don't like it. I also may notice that I sound a little bit different. That's because I do have a quite severe cold, so yeah, that kind of sucks. So today we are going to take a look at Planetside 2, which is a massively multiplayer online first-person shooter that is free to play as well. The whole game is based on Araxis, which is kind of like your planet, and that is divided up in 4 continents: Indar, Azamir, Emerish and Hosin. They kind of have a 5th small starting continent. Each continent has its own atmosphere. For instance, Indar is kind of your wasteland, Azamir is like a hostile and ice-cold biome. Emerish is like kind of a mixture, it's fairly decent, and Hosin is more your tropical rainforest. And the way you travel between those continents is not by plane or vehicle, it's by way of the warp gate. It's kind of your main base on each continent, and if you go there you can always spawn there and you can go to the different continents. And also once you capture a continent, a specific continent will give you specific perks. For instance, Emerish will give you 50% reduction of the cost of consumables. So in Planetside 2 you have 3 different factions or empires, as if they called. You have the Terran Republic, the New Conglomerates and the Vanu Sovereignty, or the TR, the NC and the VS. When you start the game you can pick one, you pick also a server, and you're stuck with that server and that character for at least that in-game character slot. Each faction has its own weapons, though there are some weapons that are usable by all factions. So each faction has its own weapons and perks. There are a few perks and weapons that can be used by all the factions, but are not too many. The Terran Republic is kind of your heavy hitting. They shoot a lot of bullets really fast. The New Sovereignty is kind of your futuristic with lasers, really precision. And the New Conglomerates are mostly shotgun users and pumping out as much damage as possible. Each faction has an entire background story that I won't really going to discuss in this video, but if you want to see more, just let me know by leaving a comment down below. So apart from the 3 different factions, you have also different classes. For instance, you have the Infiltrator, the Light Assault, the Combat Medic, the Engineer, the Heavy Assault, and then you have max units as well. The Infiltrator is kind of like your sniper. He can cloak and snipe people off from long distances, and he also can hack terminals, which can be useful and is definitely needed in the heat of battle. Light Assault are kind of your boring old just regular ass soldiers, but they have a jetpack, which can be really useful to get on top of certain key positions. The Combat Medic can revive and heal your teammates, which is definitely needed in the heat of battle because the spawn waits are semi-long, and it also takes a lot of time to get back into the battle if you don't have a Sunderer nearby. The Engineers can repair all vehicles, which is really useful. Because in this game there are a lot of different vehicles and they also play a big part of the game. The Heavy Assault is kind of your berserker mode. He has a little bit more health and armor than the rest, and he also has like an activated shield ability, and he also has the ability to use LMGs, which can be really effective. The max unit then is kind of a class on its own because it's not really a person, it's a robot that you can play. This does take a lot of nanites, which is kind of your resource. So the nanites then are kind of your resource coins. Pretty much anything in this game costs nanites, and you will gain 50 nanites every 3 minutes. You can store up to 750 nanites, and then if you gain more they will just go away. With these nanites you can buy vehicles like planes, tanks, and deployment units like Sunderers, which are definitely really important. Also things like grenades and the more expensive C4 cost nanites, so every time you spawn you will lose a little bit of nanites. So if you die a lot you will drain out your nanites really fast if you use your grenades. Apart from the nanites you also have certs, which is your in-game currency. You unlock certs basically by getting XP. So each 250 XP will give you 1 cert point or certification points as they are called. And these certs like I said, can be used to buy pretty much anything in the game. You can buy weapons, skins, also equipment slots, utility things, medical kits, restoration kits, all that kind of good stuff, and they are really important. Unfortunately, it does take quite a long time to get those, so getting a lot of XP is really important in this game. To give you an example, most weapons will cost around 500 to 1000 certification points, which is around 10 to 20 hours of in-game playing time, so that is really expensive. Luckily, you can buy most of the weapons with real life money, because it is a free to play game, and there is also a trial system where you can try every weapon for I think 30 minutes and then decide if you want to buy it or not. There's also a training mode area where you can go and you can use every weapon for indefinite amount of time. Only you fight against bots that are stationary, so you don't really get that feel of a active battle. So what is the main goal then of this game? Well, it is to capture a whole continent. The continents are divided in like hexagonic pieces of ground. Each map has a different amount of them, and you kind of need to go and capture each piece of the map. The way you can do this is to go to a set location and capture all the outposts and destroy the shields. And in order to advance, you need to capture the previous piece of land, so if you can't capture, you will be stuck at that location. And there are also alerts, kind of like your missions, that are basically every 2 to 3 hours. It will, for instance, say capture Hosen. This means that whatever faction has the highest percent of land after that set 2 hours or 3 hours, that faction will win that continent and it will be locked, giving that continent or that faction that wins a little bit of an advantage in the other continents by giving, for instance, extra XP or cheaper tanks. And on each continent you have different kind of like bases. You have the tech plants, the biolabs, the amp station, the regular outpost, and then of course the warp gate. The regular outposts are really easy to capture and don't really take that much time to capture. The tech plants are quite big and give certain advantages, like getting cheaper vehicles. The biolabs are really big. These are kind of like floating biolabs in the sky, which are really cool and can be really hectic if you fight in there, and can also take a long time to capture. The amp station are kind of like the tech plants. They are also really big and take a long time to capture. The warp gates, however, you can't capture. This is like your safe haven. It is literally a pretty big dome with an active shield where you can buy any vehicle. And you can't damage your teammates, which in the rest of the world you will can, and you will be able to kill your teammates, which is really annoying, and there isn't really that much penalty. If you shoot too many teammates in a too short amount of time, you will be punished by not being able to fire your weapons. So on to the vehicles then. Like I said, the world is absolutely massive and the vehicles are definitely needed to get from A to B fast. Pretty much all the factions have the nanite system, which is the cross-platform weapons, attachments and vehicles. So that is a quad, like the Flash, the Wrestler, the Lightning Tank, the Surrender, the Valkyrie, the Liberator and the Galaxy, which is your massive mothership that you can use to deploy troops from the air. And then each faction has a specific tank. For the TR, that is the Prowler. For the Nuclear Gunrods, that is the Vanguard. And for the Venus Sovereignty, that is the Mag Rider. These tanks are kind of your heavier hitting tanks, and they can be controlled by 2 players, one driving and controlling the main unit, and the other guy controlling the secondary weapon. And then there are also kind of like small planes, which are called Empire Pacific Specific Fighters, or ESFs. These are one-man planes which are really fast but also really easy to take out. So the ESFs are the Terran Republic, have the Mosquito, which is the fastest and most agile one. The Nuclear Gunrods have the Reaver, and the Scythe is for the Venus Sovereignty. So another cool thing about this game, it does have a full day-night cycle, so you can both fight at day and at night, and it definitely spices up the game, because at night it's just epic to see all the tracers, and if you shoot a tank you can see the tracer round going. It's really nice. All the weapons do have damage drop-offs and also bullet drop-offs, so you do need to kind of lead your shots, especially for tanks. There is quite a bit of a art. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it is a free-to-play game, and kind of like the business model is to just provide players with a faster experience by spending in real life money. There are also a lot of customization options which are quite expensive, but don't really add anything other than customizing your units. There is also a premium account which is called Access, and that is basically just a set period of time, for instance 3 months or just 1 week, where you get double XP and also double the nanites. And the cool thing about it is, if you create a squad, which is kind of like a small group, if one person has the benefits of having premium, the other teammates will get a small percentage of that. So initially Planetside 2 was made by Sony Online Entertainment, but that was took over by Daybreak Studios, which are of course known for their H1Z1 game. So far they have done a lot. For instance, porting it over to the PlayStation 4, where you can play it also free to play, and apparently it runs pretty smooth on the PlayStation 4, because on PC you do need to have a quite decent rig to play this game. But in conclusion, this game is absolutely epic. You have massive fights, because like on one server or continent there can be from 500 to literally 2000 players on there. So you can have fights of over 100 people, which is just absolutely epic, and it's really an intense fighting game. I really like it. I've played a ton of it, I would say about 20 days, if you count all the accounts and all the different platforms. So PlayStation 4 and the PC. There are a few downsides. Like I said, it is quite difficult to run. Also the progression in this game is quite slow, and spending on real life money, it is really expensive. Another thing is, if you choose your server, you're stuck with that server, so if a friend starts playing and accidentally doesn't join the right server or whatever, you can't play together, and also you can't play together if you are in different factions. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Do let me know if you want to see more of Planetside 2 or not, so hot or not, and also leave a like if you liked, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.